We thank God for the opportunity to meet once again to discuss the biblical principles of interpretation. Today we shall be looking into the part 4 of the rule of context, and we are going to look into general context. Now, you may like to know that the Bible was written in two languages, Greek and Hebrews. Whatever that was written then were properly understood by the people. Some of those things that create confusion to us now were totally understood by them. If you look into 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 29, what we regard as baptism for the dead, they properly understood what the writer was saying. But to us, it's a bit difficult, and many people have built wrong doctrine on statements like that, simply because they did not understand how the people then understood that phrase. So for us to understand what it means now, we must understand what it meant then by studying Greek or have a translation and share biblical culture of his audiences or materials that will help explain that culture. We must do that. Everything in the Bible is for all time, but not everything in the Bible is for all circumstances. Everything in the Bible is for all times, but not everything in the Bible is for all circumstances. Every written or oral statement is always given against a particular background and within specific worldviews. This includes the historical situation, the political climate, the geographical setting, the cultural conditions, and so on. Take for example, in Matthew chapter 8 verse 2, when Jesus healed the leper, he told him to go to show himself to the priest in Jerusalem. The miracle occurred in Galilee, which is 150 kilometers to Jerusalem. This takes days to make the journey. Let's say 2 weeks you will travel, the man will travel to Jerusalem. Another 2 weeks to come back, making almost 1 month. Someone will go to Jerusalem to give testimony of what Jesus has come. By the time he will come back giving that testimony, 1 month must have gone before he returned back to his family. So you see the implication of such things, that if you don't take the cognizance of the geographical situation, you would think that when Jesus Christ told him to go and give testimony in Jerusalem, Jerusalem was just like maybe from here to 1 kilometer highest. But it was not so. 150. A man will travel, going and coming before to go and give testimony of what Jesus Christ has done. Now, we must also study custom. If we do not understand the custom and cultures of the ancient world, we will not be able to understand much of the Bible. One will not be able to understand the parable of the 10 virgins if you do not understand the marriage customs of that day. We all recognize that some commands in the Bible were limited to periods that it addresses, like in Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 8. They were asked to build their houses with flat roofs and a protection. That call for the pattern of building they were having that time. The protection to prevent people from falling out from the flat roof, and sometimes for as a resting place for visitors and owners of the house. If you also look at the story of Jesus with the woman of Samaria, you will find out that the Jews were avoiding the crossing Samaria area because of the hatred and prejudice they have against the Jews. They would decide to go round to boycott Samaria, but Jesus Christ did not have such prejudice or hatred for the Samaritan people. So he had to cross, and while crossing to Jerusalem, he met the woman they called the woman of Samaria, and that led to her conversion to Christ. So some of these things we have to understand. The interpretation of the Bible is not just you pick a verse and begin to say something. No, there are certain things that need to be put into consideration before we arrive at the right interpretation of any text, and that we must do. God bless you once again until we meet again.